welcome to today's Explainer. When we think about the limitless nature of lucid dreaming, our minds almost immediately jump straight to the spectacular. We imagine ourselves as like unstoppable superheroes flying over sprawling cities, exploring alien landscapes, engaging in dramatic world building, or, fighting off a dragon. Because inside a lucid dream, you are entirely free. You're free not just to explore new worlds, but to literally create them from scratch. But what if I told you that the absolute pinnacle of lucid dream control isn't found in adrenaline or excitement at all? What if the most profound experience you can possibly have inside your own mind is actually found in absolute stillness? Today, we're looking at some truly fascinating insights on how to become the architect of your own inner sanctuaries.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, Beyond the Adventure. This whole concept really challenges the way we usually approach our subconscious, shifting us from thrill seekers to people seeking profound rest. So I want to ask you a question directly, right now. If you could just close your eyes and be anywhere, what place would make you feel completely calm? Just imagine a place of absolute safety and quiet, a space where the endless noise of the waking world, the overflowing inboxes, the stress, the constant notifications, it all just fades away. Inside the dream world, you have this incredibly unique opportunity to forge an environment that exists solely to give you peace.
Normally, we treat lucid dreams like a massive adrenaline-fueled fantasy playground, right? It's all adventure and excitement. It's loud, it's fast, and it's totally fueled by adrenaline. But the source material flips that script to focus on peace and emotional stillness. It emphasizes that while adventure is definitely fun, it's actually the intentional design of comfort and emotional stillness that offers a truly transformative experience. You're essentially trading the fantasy playground for a profound space of rest.
Which brings us to Section 2, the inner sanctuary. Let's define this clearly. What exactly is an inner sanctuary? Well, it's a space of calm, comfort, and emotional stillness created inside a lucid dream. And the best part? This space belongs exclusively to you. Nobody else can enter it, and absolutely nobody else can alter it. Think of it as a safe, quiet refuge where your mind can finally settle. In the waking world, finding true emotional stillness is incredibly difficult, isn't it? There's always some pressure, a demand, or distraction constantly pulling at you. But here, in this perfectly curated subconscious space, you're completely shielded. It is literally an environment built purely for comfort.
Now, what's truly interesting is the sheer variety of what this sanctuary can actually be. Because you're the architect here, there are absolutely no limits to what you can imagine. The source provides these beautiful, vivid examples. You might construct a peaceful cabin beside a perfectly still, glass-like lake, or perhaps a glowing temple tucked high up in the mountains. Maybe your sanctuary is a quiet beach beneath a canopy of stars, or even a totally surreal floating garden high up in the clouds. Honestly, the architecture itself doesn't matter nearly as much as the feeling it gives you. In this space, there are no physical laws, there's only feeling. So, the crucial point is exactly what this quote from the text lays out. The purpose is not perfection, the purpose is peace. You really don't need a degree in subconscious architecture to build this. When you're building your sanctuary, you don't need to stress out about rendering every single individual brick on that cabin, or perfectly simulating the exact gravity of a floating garden. If the visual is a little hazy, that is perfectly fine. The goal isn't flawless dream control or high-definition 4K visuals. The whole goal is tapping into the profound feeling of the space. It's all about the emotional resonance of the environment you're standing in.
Moving right along to Section 3, Designing Your Peaceful Space.
So, how do we actually become the architect of our own minds? Well, here's your step-by-step blueprint right from the text. Step 1, obviously, become lucid. You realize you're dreaming. Now, step 2 is vital, and it's where a lot of people mess up. You have to pause for a moment. Seriously, just stop. Don't immediately go flying through the nearest window. Step 3, ask yourself in that very moment what brings you calm. And then step 4, gently begin creating it. That gentle approach is absolutely key here. You aren't forcing the dream world to change, you're gently inviting it to shift into your sanctuary. As you gently create this space, you want to actively notice the sensory details around you. The text specifically highlights focusing on the atmosphere, the light, the sounds, and crucially, the feeling in your body. Imagine adding the feeling of soft wind brushing against your skin. Picture warm sunlight pouring down from the dream sky. Maybe you visualize glowing water lapping at the shore of your beach, or you hear peaceful music playing really softly in the distance. Allowing the environment to directly reflect the peace you want to experience is exactly what grounds the sanctuary.
All right, Section 4, Building Through Emotion.
In the waking world, we build things with wood, stone, and steel, right? But in a lucid dream, you build through emotion. And this brilliantly illustrates that core mechanic. Your emotional connection creates a much more vivid sanctuary. The more you allow yourself to deeply feel the safety, the calm, and the quiet of the space, the more detailed and solid the dream actually becomes. The environment is directly reflecting your internal state. If you want a more vivid dream, you don't necessarily need to focus harder with your eyes. You need to connect more deeply with the feeling of peace in your chest.
Which leads us into Section 5, a familiar subconscious refuge.
The true magic of this practice is that over time, you can return to this exact same dream place again and again. And why does this matter for your waking life? Because building this sanctuary gives you a permanent, recurring safe space for profound benefits. As the text outlines, this is a place where you can deeply rest. It's a space to reflect on your life. It provides a really unique opportunity to heal from emotional fatigue. Or, perhaps most beautifully, it gives you a place to simply exist without any pressure whatsoever. Because as the source reminds us, lucid dreaming isn't only about adventure. Sometimes it's just about creating a space where your mind finally feels safe enough to become entirely still.
Let's move to and see how this builds beautifully toward our final instruction from the text. Create a place that feels like home inside your dreams. The next time you find yourself awake inside a dream, remember this explainer. Do not rush immediately into action. Prioritize peace first. Build your cabin, build your temple, build your home. Which leaves us with one final thought to take away today. As you go to sleep tonight, I want you to ask yourself this: where will your mind finally feel safe enough to become still? What does your inner sanctuary actually look like? Keep that image close, and the next time you dream, you might just find yourself standing right in the middle of it. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy dreaming.